What if everything you built, your revenue, your success, your thriving business, still left your wealth vulnerable? You've done what most people never figure out. You know how to grow a business. You know how to generate profits consistently. But let me ask you this. If your income stopped tomorrow, would your wealth keep working for you? For most entrepreneurs and business owners, the answer is no. And that is a real problem. You know, Warren Buffett, arguably one of the greatest investors in the world, said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Now that quote hit me hard the first time I heard it, because it exposed a truth that I couldn't ignore. I had built income, not freedom. Wealth that worked only when I did.
Now, financial education is having money work for you.
Yep.
So you don't work for money. So you're not a slave to money.
Now, I've just had the privilege of spending 9 days with Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I'm sure that you have read. And the principal thing that he talks about in this book are the quadrants. You've got the employee quadrant, you've got the self-employed quadrant, you've got the business owner quadrant, and you've got the investor quadrant. And as you can see in this diagram, literally the single most important thing to being in the investor quadrant is getting your money to work for you. And I'm sure as a business owner or a self-employed person that you want your money to work for you. What you really want isn't just more income. It's income that doesn't rely on you. It's wealth that works whether you show up or not. It's freedom. Freedom to step away. Freedom to take a break. Freedom to what matters most to you without worrying about everything that you built will stop the moment you stop working. My name is Scott Pickin. I spent the last 20 years helping business owners, entrepreneurs, and investors just like you from around the world turn active income into real, passive, globally diversified wealth. I founded multiple companies and raised over $150 million, facilitated more than $1.3 billion in global real estate deals, and helped thousands of investors access institutional grade investments without millions in the bank, all Wall Street access.
And Scott, I am so proud of you. I mean, you took the risk, you came here. It's a great program.
But here's what most people don't know. Even after building several successful businesses, I still felt financially exposed. All my wealth was tied in companies that I was running. If I stopped working, everything stopped with me. And when the markets turned in 2008, I realized I wasn't as protected or as free as I thought I was. This was my wake-up call. So I went on a mission to build a second income engine, one that would pay me first world income sources through first world assets, even if I took my foot off the gas.
Most people don't have the skill sets to be an investor. They went to school to get a job, like an investor.
Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an entrepreneur just like you. And so let me take this jacket off because I am sure that you're the same as me. I got tired of vague advice and limited access with unnecessary complexity. So we built a system that works, one that creates real freedom. In this short session, I'm going to walk you through the 3 hidden barriers that are keeping even the most successful entrepreneurs from building true passive wealth. You'll see exactly why these barriers exist, how they are quietly sabotaging your wealth strategy, and what has to change to build a system that pays you globally and passively. This isn't another cookie-cutter financial plan. It's a clear roadmap for entrepreneurs who want to convert profits into freedom without wasting time, losing control, or making costly mistakes. Here's how we're going to break it down. First, I'm going to show you the number one reason most business owners struggle to build wealth, even after generating significant profits. Then I'll reveal what's missing from your current approach that's keeping you locked out of the best income-producing and capital growth investments. And finally, I'm going to show you what it really takes to build a globally diversified wealth system that pays you without demanding more of your time. Sound good? You're going to leave this training with clarity on what's missing and what needs to change, the exact next steps to start building wealth that works without you. So let's dive in. What if working harder and earning more is actually what's keeping you stuck? Let me introduce you to Michael. He was a successful entrepreneur generating 7 figures a year through his business. He had a few local properties, money sitting in the bank, and a share portfolio being managed by his broker. On paper, he thought like he had it all together, but he knew the truth. Everything was tied up in one country, one currency, and one economy. His eggs, literally, were just in one basket. They were in one market. Every time he thought about diversifying, especially globally, he got overwhelmed. Too many options, no roadmap, and no one he trusted to guide him. He didn't feel poor, but he definitely didn't feel free. And I'll never forget that night in Memphis on one of our buyers' trips. I asked him a simple question. How much passive income is your current setup actually generating? He looked at me wide-eyed and he couldn't answer. This is the trap so many entrepreneurs fall into. We make the mistake of financial activity for financial clarity. Just because you're earning doesn't mean you're building. Just because you're investing doesn't mean you have strategy. If you don't know what your target passive income number is, what your current wealth position is, and the gap between, then you're not investing, you're improvising. And Michael wasn't lacking motivation. He was lacking clarity, a plan, trusted direction, and partners he could trust. Once we helped Michael define what freedom looked like for him, and specifically his daughters, we reverse engineered a wealth strategy around it, and everything started shifting. But even with clarity, he still had one big question. Where do I actually invest, and how do I do it right? That's where most business owners get stuck. And that's exactly what we're going to tackle next. What if the best investments are never shown to people like you? Not because you're not qualified, but because you're not connected. Take Sarah. She had $200,000 sitting in her investment account, untouched for over 4 years. She was a successful business owner doing all the right things. But when it came to investing, she was completely stuck. She had spoken to multiple financial advisors, and every one of them gave her the same pitch. High fee funds, bland retirement products, risk profiles, and cookie cutter portfolios. But Sarah wasn't looking for average, and I'm sure you're not either. She wanted real diversification, US dollar income, global exposure, and an intelligent strategy. Instead, she got the same recycled options she could have Googled herself. She said to me, "Why do I feel like I'm getting the leftovers? I'm reading the books, I'm doing the work, but I still feel locked out." And that's when it hit me. Despite doing everything right in her business, Sarah felt like an outsider in the investment world. Most high-performing business owners aren't underinvested because they're lacking motivation. They're underinvested because the best deals are out of reach, and they don't have the time, tools, or access to filter what's good from what's dangerous. To get into the top-tier deals, you need more than interest or income. You need the right partners. People who are actually sitting at the table with the keys to the institutional grade opportunities. That's why we work with partners who vet hundreds of deals, run rigorous due diligence, and only bring forward investments that were once reserved for the top 1%. Family offices, pension funds, institutional investors. Because access changes everything. But here's the truth most people don't talk about. Even with access, most entrepreneurs never move forward. And it's not because they're lazy or because they lack insight. It's because they don't have the time to research, compare, do due diligence, or navigate the compliance, tax, and structuring minefield across borders and jurisdictions. That's why the right partners don't just open the door. They cut through the noise, compress the timeline, and bring you only the investments that matter. Even Warren Buffett says that out of hundreds of opportunities, only a few move the needle. So here's the real question. How do you build wealth that moves the needle without turning it into another job for you? And that's where we're going to go next. What if the answer isn't more investments, but a smarter way to use the ones that you already have? But here's the truth. Access alone isn't enough. Even with the right opportunities on the table, if your execution is scattered, your results will be too. Niels and Catherine came to us with what looked like a strong portfolio on the surface. They had properties in the US, UK, and South Africa, shares in businesses, multiple pension funds, and some personal investments they'd made over the years. But nothing was working together. It was patchwork. Different advisors, different tax structures, different platforms. One accountant said one thing, their financial planner said another. No integration, no coordination, no clear strategy. They were frustrated and overwhelmed. Despite having millions in assets, they felt like they were flying blind. That's when we stepped in with our family office team. We helped consolidate their holdings, restructure their tax exposure, and align everything under a single, unified wealth strategy. Suddenly things started clicking into place. They weren't just wealthier on paper. They had a system that made their wealth work for them. And more importantly, they had peace of mind. Doesn't that sound good? Wealth isn't just what you own. It's how well your wealth works together. Execution is the line between investors and spectators. And most business owners, they're getting piecemeal advice from disconnected sources. An accountant here, a financial planner there, an overseas deal broker over email. No one is speaking the same language. No one is driving the bigger vision. Smart execution is about bringing it all under one roof. Systems, automation, reporting, and predictable tax-efficient outcomes. Not another DIY spreadsheet, not more complexity, but a professionally managed framework designed to deliver clarity, consistency, and control. Think of your wealth like an orchestra. You might have the best instruments, real estate, shares, businesses, pensions, but if they're all playing different tunes at different tempos with no conductor, it's just noise. Smart investing is about synchronization, getting everything working together under one strategy, one vision, so your wealth performs like a symphony, not a scramble. Because execution is where wealth becomes freedom. Without it, you're just collecting assets. With it, you're building a future on your terms. If you're ready to turn your business profits into globally diversified, income-producing wealth system, and you want to do it without wasting time, giving up control, and making expensive mistakes, or navigating the complexity alone, then let's talk. Click on the link below to book a free one-on-one call with our team. On the call, we're going to walk you through where are you right now? Where do you want to go to? And we're going to help you map out the next steps to transform your scattered assets into a cohesive system that works without you. Because the right structure isn't just about growing wealth. It's about giving back your freedom to live, to lead, and to build your wealth on your terms. Your business has done the hard part. Now it's time to make your wealth do the same. At our family office, we specialize in helping entrepreneurs and business owners just like you. And here's something we see all the time. The very traits that make you a successful entrepreneur, drive, control, independence, are often the same traits that hold you back as an investor. You are used to making all the decisions. You've built your success through hustle, speed, and personal judgment. But the wealth building plays out by a different set of rules. Now is the time to bring in the right partners and build a strategy that creates synergy between your business and your wealth. Because the goal isn't just growth, it's freedom, sustainability, legacy. Go below and book a call, and let's get your money working for you. Let me close with this. I didn't just start out in the Investor Quadrant. I started out in the Employee Quadrant like most of you, and I was working for someone else. My first job in London was a laborer on a construction site, and you can literally see the picture here. I was earning £5 an hour. Luckily, I read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, in 2001. At 25, I moved to the S, self-employed, and I started my business. I was in control, but I was still trading time for money. Eventually, I became a business owner, scaling systems and teams. But even then, my wealth depended on me. It wasn't until I shifted to the Investor Quadrant that I found real freedom. It dawned on me the day that I was on top of the largest residential tower in London and the biggest penthouse in Europe. I went down to find my investors and I noticed a construction site across the road. It was the same company that I used to be a laborer for. If I hadn't read this book, I would probably still be working on that site. But not that day. That day, I took 20 investors to the top floor to negotiate with the developer to buy a piece of that building. My money was finally working for me. And I realized when I learned to make money work for me across countries, currencies, assets, I finally felt safe, empowered, and free. And that's what I want for you. If you're ready to shift quadrants, to stop relying on your efforts alone, and to build real, globally diversified passive income that works while you sleep, let's build together. Let's talk. Click on the link below to book your free one-to-one strategy with our team, and I look forward to your results and your money working for you.